Todd, well, thank you very much. Todd, I'm sure everyone on this call would like to hear, before we ask you some questions, would like to hear what happened 2 days ago. Where were you? Can you tell us a little bit about where you were and what it was all about?
Yeah, in fact, you know what? Let me pull up some pictures here. In fact, Lawrence, I was trying to do two Zooms at once. The other one ran over, so I just disconnected the one I was on. But I'll show you guys some pictures. We went on a world tour. So we were in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we were at a place called the Wynn. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with Las Vegas, Nevada, Steve Wynn is a person. His last name is Wynn, and he built over half of Las Vegas. Well, he built his final hotel, and he named it after himself. And he built it as a monument to himself. In fact, it is a 5-star, 5-diamond resort. It has received that very prestigious designation 24 different times from a major financial publication called Forbes. This is a magazine a lot of rich people read. And so they like to go to rich places. And so amazing place. And I mean, the moment you walk into the room and you hit the button for the lights to come on, suddenly the shears and the drapes open up. That's at the very moment. It's actually almost like startles you because it's like, you can use, it happens fairly quickly. And then you have glass that goes from the floor all the way to the ceiling. Now, the reason they have that is that this is a panoramic room view where you are literally sitting on top of the Las Vegas Strip. It looks like it's all right beneath you, and you can see the mountains that are surrounding all of Las Vegas. And I mean, this is just absolutely just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. In fact, I'll show you guys a couple pictures that I took when we were there because we ate breakfast. So let's see how well you guys can see this here. So here's our breakfast that came and served. You can see that we're just literally looking down on the strip, and you can see the mountains surround there in the background. These particular rooms, by the way, the rooms go for over $600 per night. And so if you want to go book a place like this, again, it's a pretty pricey place. So a 3-night, 4-day experience like we just had would typically cost you over $1,800. However, on the world tour, we were there. I'm going to show you guys the nighttime view real quick. I got a better picture, but you guys get kind of the idea there. That's the nighttime. That's just from our room. So on the world tour, instead of having to pay $1,800+ for this experience, instead of paying $600+ per night, we paid $66 per night. We paid a total of $199. They got 24/7 room service, and I mean the service is out of this world. My wife kept making comments. She's like, "Oh my gosh, these people are so well trained. I mean, everything is just like white glove, super meticulous. They got these high-end chefs that make this incredible food." So I mean, it was an amazing experience. We obviously connected with tons of reps that were there. Of course, it's a resort. They got the big pool and the casinos and the restaurants and the bars. And of course, the ceilings are massive. And people had masks on, and they kind of did the social distancing thing. So you could walk throughout the casino, you could walk throughout the resort, and feel safe. Obviously, there's tons of shopping that goes on there. But yeah, amazing experience that we had over the past 4 days. And last night on the corporate update call, when Mr. David Hart said we would be going back there again next year, that was received with huge cheers because the place was quite incredible. It's like, oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. I mean, we could hang out here for quite a while. It was an amazing place.
Fantastic. And Todd, I saw 2 photos which I need to ask you about today. Am I correct in saying there was something on this weekend in Tokyo in Japan as well? We also had a group of people doing a world tour over in Japan.
There were other world tours. I know that Tenerife was happening, but I did not know about the one in Japan. Now, you might have had some people from, because we do have a couple of reps in Japan, and they might have been doing their own thing. That's highly possible. I've actually talked to the 2 reps that are in Japan a few times. In fact, funny enough, that the one, she not only speaks Japanese, she speaks Spanish and a little bit of English. And so we communicate back and forth a lot of times with a third party. But yeah, so there are some reps there. There is some growth there. I don't think it was an official company function. But I could be wrong. But yes, I mean, every time you turn around, the growth is amazing. New territories, new places, new people having experiences. And it seems like it doesn't matter, what part of the world you're talking about. Because yesterday being my birthday, had tons of people kind of reaching out, happy birthday. And you kind of reconnect with lots of people. And, you get this rep and that rep and this rep, and they're here and they're there. And how are things going? Every time you turn around, they're telling me about some trip they just got off of. And, whether it's my experience in Vegas or someone else's experience in Japan, or someone else's experience in Tenerife, or someone else's experience in down in Key West. It's a similar experience, which this is pretty amazing.
Todd, and then the other photo that I saw today, which I want to bring into asking you these questions, was I saw a photo of you standing in Reunion at Reunion Island with a whole lot of like hundreds of people behind you having a photograph taken at Reunion Islands. My question isn't about Reunion Islands. My question's about France. France opened up for the first time, I think about a year ago, 18 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a new territory in a language, the French are known for not wanting to speak English. What has the growth been like in that new marketplace? Can you just tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so obviously there were big challenges when we opened because the company did not have any of its materials in French. We had no French videos, no French webpage, no French customer service, no French competition program. So they had a pretty serious handicap. They're trying to recruit people with materials that are not in their own language. And so, you got a handful of reps that said, we're going to pioneer this marketplace. We're first. This is our chance. In particular, there was a gentleman by the name of Eric Gilliam. He was a plumber making, a couple $1,000s per month and ran, that would be what, is it 6 to 1, 8 to 1?
About 17. I think it's about 17 to 1 at the moment.
Oh, 16. Okay, 16. Okay, 17 to 1. So, and you'd be like 34,000 rand per month as a plumber. But he got involved with our company and went out there and started kind of doing the Zooms like Lawrence is doing here, doing presentations like this, private presentations. People were connecting on Facebook, things of this nature. And it took off and exploded in growth, not only in France, but into Belgium and some other parts of Europe. It jumped over into the French Polynesian Islands. We're big in Tahiti. Reunion Island is, he just mentioned, Mauritius Island, Madagascar. Some people in Canada, predominantly old French speaking. And that, became this incredible group that just exploded in growth. And it took the gentleman who was a plumber making a couple grand a month, to 20,000 per month. We've got, tons of, 2-star ambassadors, 1-star ambassadors, over in that marketplace.
$20,000, Todd. Sorry to interrupt you. $20,000 a month.
Yeah. $20,000 per month US.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No. Yeah. Big clarification, right? So yeah. So he obviously went from making a little bitty income where he's trading all of his time for money and just trying to survive to they just had another kid and he's driving a Mercedes and able to do what he wants, when he wants, with whom he wants. And it's all because he was willing to kind of plant that flag and say, I'll be first. And I'm going to launch this region of the world. And which is exactly what you guys are doing right now in South Africa, except for you don't have the disadvantage where there's a language barrier because so many people there do speak English. So it makes it a little easier to go out and communicate the message of the company and say, we can do what they did in America. We can do what they did in France. We can do what they did in Tahiti and Reunion and Mauritius. We can do that here and get the exact same result. Because it doesn't matter what part of the world you go to. I think you're going to find that people want to travel for less. People want to travel for free, and they want to get paid to travel.
Very well said, Todd. So Todd, coming back to South Africa for a second, South Africans as a whole, and I take my hat off to them all sitting on this call. They are exceptionally entrepreneurial. They're exceptionally well educated. They're very intelligent. They're sitting on a marketplace. South Africa has its own flaws and its own faults, as we all know. But in South Africa, you have to look after yourself. You have to go out and find a second income, or you have to find a first income with a reputable company. The opportunity for growth is massive. Do you think that we're being realistic by saying that South Africa is going to grow to thousands and thousands of members in its first year? Do you believe we can, grow to those sort of numbers?
Yeah, because when you say thousands and thousands of members in network marketing world, that's still tiny. You guys can literally go out, have a pretty, tepid response, have a pretty tepid launch, only have, 3,000-4,000 people involved in the region, which means you're minuscule. Most people have never heard your name. It's just you're out there, but you didn't make the big splash. You're just, making a small impact. But with our compensation structure, it doesn't take a big team to make a lot of money. With as few as 200 people on our platinum product in your left leg and 200 people on our platinum product in your right leg, you can become a $100,000 US earner, which is big money in the United States. It's massive money in South Africa. So you can earn, $100,000 per year with a team of 200. And so even if you guys go out and only get a team of, a couple thousand people, 4,000 people, 5,000 people. I mean, Lawrence, the last team you built personally was 12,000 people. I mean, that was not the entire region. That was just you personally built a team of 12,000. And so you can go out there and build a small team of just a few thousand people where no one's ever heard your name, but yet it's radically transformed your finances, radically transformed the finances of everyone on this webinar and the people that you would get involved with you to help, launch that campaign. And yet you're still small. And yet most people have never heard of the company.
And Todd, for those people who are new to network marketing and maybe feeling a little bit nervous and, these guys are talking big numbers and I don't know if I can bring 3 people to the business, let alone 33. How does it all work? I mean, we hear things about teamwork and spillage. Can your team grow without your own efforts?
Yeah, and in fact, it almost always does. It seems like at first you're the one putting out all the effort. You're putting out massive effort. You're trying to share the story with anyone and everyone. And you can literally, bring some people in, and next thing you know, I mean, someone gets involved in your team where it just takes on a life of its own. It starts to grow without you. And I typically reflect that when I look at my wife and I's business today. We barely speak one language. I meet people around the world, probably like many of you on this call, and you all speak multiple languages. I mean, I constantly meet people where, oh yeah, I speak this. I'm like, I barely speak English. And yet we see our team today in 52 countries. In fact, the predominant number of people that we get paid on do not even speak the same language as us. And we have a massive team that speaks French. We have a massive team that speaks Spanish. We've got a small team that, the Japanese and Korean, we have some of that. We have some Haitian language, a little Portuguese. So there's all these different languages and people involved, and yet we don't speak that language. And so how did that happen? Well, again, who do you know that likes to travel for less? Who do you know that likes to travel for free? Who do you know that like to get paid to travel? There's just not a shortage of people out there that think that's a pretty good idea. And so you'll eventually, as you kind of share the concept, you're going to meet someone who says, wow, that's great. Yes, I want to do this. And if you can ever recruit 1, you can recruit 2. And if you can recruit 2, you can recruit 4. And then you can help them simply duplicate your efforts where they tell a few who tell a few, and it just kind of starts to spread. John tells Mary, tells Vermeer, tells Warren, tells Ati, tells Sia, tells Bianca, and it just, next thing you know, you don't even know some of the people that are involved. And, the team starts to grow and it takes on a life of its own. And so that's kind of the nature of our business. And I know that sometimes when people hear the numbers, it sounds like big numbers. Well, believe it or not, everything we're talking about on this call is actually pretty small numbers. We're talking about having just a few thousand reps and maybe 5,000 reps in the region, which again makes us a very tiny company in the region. No one's heard our name. Hey, you ever heard of Pay to Save? Nope, never heard of it, right? And yet you got 5,000 people. But it's the opportunity to be an entrepreneur, because what does that mean to me financially? Well, we might be small in the large scale of things in South Africa, but to you personally financially, it might mean that you're making several $100,000 per year in income. And so the numbers seem big, but yet the numbers are actually small. And it's only because you're getting a chance, maybe for the first time, to actually get paid on all of the growth that happens below you. Most of us are so used to only getting paid on what we personally do. You might work at a company and they pay you by the hour and you manufacture some part for them and they go out and sell it to 1 billion people, make a fortune, but you still only get paid a small salary, right? You don't get paid the overall effect of what your contribution was. You don't get a little cut of the pie based on what, how well that did out there in the marketplace. And so when you get people in an entrepreneurial position where they can finally, wow, I can get paid not just on the person I personally brought, but on all of the growth that happens from them, on that, the pond effect, right? You drop a rock in the pond and you see the ripples that, continue to spread out. And as those ripples spread out, you can continue to earn income from all of those ripples as they spread. And most people have never been given that chance. And when you get a chance to do that, then suddenly the numbers can look like, wow, I mean, I can't believe the kind of money I'm making, how much easier I'm making, a lot more money with a lot less effort. And it's like, wow, how come someone didn't teach me this concept 2 decades ago?
Exactly. Especially our age, Todd, we've had that conversation before. And for everyone on this call who's a lot younger than we are, the sooner you learn the power of leverage and the power of duplication, the richer you're going to be in life. On that note, Todd, could I bring Ati into this call? Ati, could you switch your microphone on for a second and join us? You managed to switch it off? Try now, Ati.
Okay,
There
yeah.
he is. How are you, Ati?
Hi guys, I'm good, thanks, and you?
Good, thank you. I see before Sia jumps off, I want to welcome her to the business. And Sia, have a good one. Have a nice evening. I see she's jumping off. But Ati, you've had some success this week, haven't you?
Yeah, no, it was a good week, Lawrence. It was a good week this week, if I must say.
I'm not sure if Todd knows because, you know, Todd has a huge team and he just doesn't see who signs everyone up. But Todd Ati made a major few steps forward this week. He's had a couple of people join him. He's now no longer pays membership, and he's been putting some big efforts into it.
Congratulations, Ati.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate that.
As we like to say in America, my pride, my admiration. Now you get a free vacation.
Can't wait to get on those, actually.
Absolutely.
Ati, what message would you put out to the guys here? You know, there's a lot of people on this call today that if they join, they would fall into your team. What message would you give? What have you seen from support point of view? The effort Todd puts in, the effort Werner puts in, the effort Daryl puts in, the effort Maria puts in. What's your experience been like so far?
I just think the support has been immense, to be fair. It's not, I didn't sign up and then I was on my own. You know, there was constant tutelage, there was constant mentoring, and not just from Lawrence or Werner, but also Daryl and Maria and Todd, who are the top guys in the company. So having that direct communication with the top guys in the company does put you at more of an ease. You know, it shows that it is a very, I'm gonna say, homely feeling in a sense. You know, that you got Todd and Daryl on the other side of the world, and they're willing to jump in on a call with you at any given time of the night. I mean, Daryl sending me, we send each other messages, and sometimes like at 3 a.m., you know, and I see a call from Daryl, and because of the time zones, it's obviously impossible sometimes, but that's the sort of enthusiasm that we're getting from the guys in America, and also you yourself in the UK. I mean, you avail yourself at any given time, almost at a moment's notice. So the support has been immense. So I think for anyone who wants to step into this, you're not going to be on your own. You know, I'll be Werner's here, Lawrence is here. We got Daryl and Todd in America, and it's been pretty simple duplication process where, you know, the main thing is you're not even trying to sell. You're just trying to get people interested enough to jump on. Bianca's here too in Dubai. You know, you just want to try and get people on a call so they can listen to what the company has to offer, and the presentation generally does that justice. So I don't go out and try and sell really to anyone. I just try and gauge a bit of interest from people, and I try and get them on a call with either Lawrence or Werner or Daryl or Todd or Bianca. Yeah.
Thank you, Ati. Thank you very much. Todd, based on what Ati just said and seeing that we're coming up to an hour, if you had to leave everyone with a parting message based on what Ati just said, what message, Todd, with your experience, would you give everyone?
Yeah, the big message is that, you know, everyone dreams of being first. And, you know, at the same time, some people the thing that holds people back is, do I have to do it alone? You know, the people dream of being first, but oh my gosh, well, you know, I don't know about this, I don't know about that. And in this particular case, you know, you not only have Ati there to support you, you've got Lawrence, who's been a veteran of our industry, built a team of 12,000 people, achieved incredible success in our space. You've got Daryl and Maria Roberts, who are 30-year veterans in our industry. They've been on this web Zoom every single week up until this, the first time I've missed today. They had a different webinar or something they had to be on. So, I mean, they're constantly on here. You're going to have them helping you. I've been on many of these presentations. There's no doubt as you guys continue to grow, you'll get our CEO and founder on these presentations. There's a saying, if you build it, they will come. And so for those of you that are here and saying, you know what, man, we're going to go make this thing happen. And so Ati's made that decision. Sia's made that decision. You know, Werner has made that decision. Bianca has made that decision to kind of plant a flag. We're going to go make this thing happen. And it always starts with just a small group of people, but that's how everything great has ever started. It's just a small group of people. There's a few people in a dorm room that started Facebook. There was a few people in a garage that started Apple Computer. There was a couple of guys in a dorm room at Harvard that started Microsoft. And for that matter, in our country, it was a handful of people, not a bunch, a handful of people that gave birth to the United States of America. And so it's always been a handful of people that say, you know what, I can see a better way. I can see a better future. And if we were to band together and go out and show people how they can, a better way to make money, a better way to buy your time back, a cheaper way to travel, a way to travel for free. I mean, Ati's been with us for what, a couple of weeks, and his business is now in profitability. A couple of weeks, and he now has 2 to 3 vacations per year for free in just a couple of weeks. I mean, imagine what you're going to do in a couple of months, a couple of years, or a couple of decades. And as you continue to build, that's going to build upon itself. And all you have to do today is say, you know what, I'm going to lock arms with these guys because I can tell they're going places. I can tell that there's leadership here. There's an experienced company here, an established company, 8 years old, paid out millions of commissions around the globe. And the paychecks go out every week. Beautiful home office in the United States, customer service in 3 languages. They're doing things correct. They got great leadership running the company. And so I'm just going to lock arms with these guys and we're going to go do this together. And sometimes just knowing that you got people that you can do it with. Someone's got your back, you got their back. I mean, that alone makes the journey worth it. But along the way, there's a lot of financial gain too.
Excellent, great message. And Todd, thank you very much. Before we do say goodbye to everyone, also a big shout out to LJ, who also joined us last night, I think. LJ, we're here. If we can help you, you know how to get hold of us. We have connected with you and we will be speaking to you very shortly. Well done. And we know that you're going to be a huge success. Everyone, thank you very much for listening. Todd, Bianca, Ati, and everyone else on this call, a huge thank you to you all. And Todd, again, we do understand 58th birthday.